Jay Millie, how you doing?
I'm good, Echo. How you doing?
Not bad, bro. Not bad. What's your question?
All right. So with Dragonflight kind of moving away from borrowed power,
hmm
it's been a while since Blizzard has made content with that in mind. So my question is, what kind of content do you think we can expect to see in Dragonflight with that in mind? Because I look back and think, if we don't have the Azerite grind, do we get islands and warfronts? If we don't have Shadowlands legendaries, do we get Torghast?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be kind of their plan for content in Dragonflight?
So I can only go on what Blizzard have said so far. I'm gonna try not to do too much copium hopium stuff in my answer here because my hope would be housing and all the rest of it. That would be my hope. I'm pretty sure that's not happening though. So let's try and keep it. Let's try it copium free. The world number one is, I think, going to be a player once again within World of Warcraft, which in the past, at least for the last few expansions, the world really lost its ability to be considered a character. Not a player, but a character. The early days of World of Warcraft, if you go to Vanilla, TBC, Wrath, the world really was its own character within the game. The world was kind of like the main antagonist of the game. Everything else was sort of a sideshow. The world would be where you would spend most of your time farming up, killing stuff, doing dailies. Blizzard also put a lot of effort into having dailies evolve over time, even though the world would usually not evolve. As you would go up in reputation levels, you would get more dailies open up until you finally get to Exalted, and then you would have access to all of its dailies. And also, as those reputations grew, you would get access to more things that you could buy off of them. You used to have factions, that sort of allowed you to grind mindlessly if you wanted to do that. We're thinking back to the Ogre factions in TBC, for Nagrand, where you farmed those beads. I remember farming boatloads of that back in the day. Then you go to Wrath of the Lich King, where you had things like the Trial of the Crusader, which was this entire zone right at the end, or hub right at the end, introduced for players to effectively do dailies and see themselves sort of grow within that little hub. And I expect that's what Dragonflight is going to have a lot more of. Sort of more localized stories that you can see evolve over time. Hopefully, there's also a little bit of a Suramar influence in a lot of the zones, because we already know that we're going to help rebuild the Black Dragonflight. And the Black Dragonflight is also the one seat of power that is under attack. It currently does not belong to the Black Dragonflight. The others have been protected by the remaining Dragonflights and Guardians, but the Black Dragonflight, most likely thanks to the fall of Deathwing, have now been occupied by someone else. So there's a good chance that we're going to move in there, we're going to clear it out, and then probably going to have to rebuild it. And maybe this is also an opportunity for Blizzard to start doing some, watch the world sort of grow up, watch the world sort of fix itself as, the patches continue and as we do things there. But their main focus for Dragonflight really does appear to be the open world. Blizzard announced that they have a full team of people working on open world content. Dragon riding seems to be a big one. It feels like Blizzard is sort of committing to the idea of, here's your theme park, do whatever you want. Right? We're going to make sure that there's more than enough rides for you to go on. But we're not going to tell you which one of the rides you must go on. That is your decision. We'll just tell you, here's your rides, do whatever you want here. And I think for a lot of people, it's going to be a bit of a culture shock. It's clear that World of Warcraft players have gotten into the mindset that Blizzard tells them what to do and then they just do it. So I do think we saw this right at the beginning of Zereth Mortis. A lot of people were complaining that there wasn't anything to do. There was a shit ton to do. There was just nothing that you had to do, right? You weren't forced to do much in Zereth Mortis, and this left a lot of players to complain because, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. And then, as time went on, people sort of figured out, oh, actually, never mind. So this is what I have to do, This makes sense. Okay, I'll go do that. That seems fun. So yeah, it seems like that's really where Blizzard is putting a lot of their focus.
I guess I would say then, do you think that Blizzard would commit to making that much of an or that much to a change to their open world in WoW? Because we've seen since, I couldn't even tell you, for the last as many expansions as I can remember, the open world is kind of very, there's no threat there. There's no resistance to you there. You just kind of walk around, grab everyone up, one shot them down, and kind of keep on moving. So do you think with Dragonflight we could kind of see Blizzard returning to a style where there are some difficult portions in the world and you can go over to this area and engage with that if you want to, but you're not required to?
Yes, I do think Blizzard is going to have high threat zones within the zones. Maybe sort of places that you only be able to reach once your dragon riding reach a certain level, so you can actually fly up there or get there. But it's not going to be. It's going to be completely optional. So it's going to be the kind of thing that if you want that challenge, you can go find it there. But also remember that threat in the open world is always going to be very difficult to balance, because the open world does not level up at the same rate as everyone else. Purely because you still have to have that evolution of power. If you got to patch 9.3 and it still took you 30 seconds to kill a mob, you would not feel as if you've been empowered at all for the majority of the expansion. So I do expect a lot more world bosses, and hopefully Blizzard really fucking dives into massive world boss creation. I'm talking new world bosses almost every single patch that fills out more of the world, upgrading the world bosses that is there from the beginning. But then also remember content that is difficult in a different way. Have you ever played Final Fantasy XIV?
I actually started playing it recently. I think I made it to around level 20. I haven't really put too much time into it yet, though.
Well, just stick with it. Level 20, the game is still the drag. Once you get to level 50, come back to me and tell me what you think of it. But in Final Fantasy, there's a place that I discovered, not recently, I discovered it a while ago, but we basically spent an entire two stream evenings actually doing it. It's a jumping puzzle. It's called Kagani Tower, and most Final Fantasy players lovingly refer to it as Kagani Tower Savage, because it's a jumping puzzle. There's nothing there. There's no reason to climb it. It's not going to give you any power. It's part of your sightseeing log stuff, so it really doesn't do anything. It's just a jumping puzzle. It's a massive tower that you have to jump up on, and it took us, I think 4 hours, 4.5 hours to get up there to the top of the jumping puzzle. It was really fucking difficult, but at the same time, really fun. And there's a ton of people that do it and love doing it. There's people that do speed runs of that shit. Try and do it as fast as possible to try and put up the best score possible. And they're doing that and getting mad views on YouTube as they're doing their speed runs of Kagani Tower. There's 2 towers just in that main city of Kagani. There's 2 jumping puzzles. There's jumping puzzles all over the world. You can create stuff like that in the open world as well, that brings a different level of difficulty, but still something for people to engage with. And it's not going to be for everyone. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's sitting in this chat thinking, jumping puzzles, dude, fucking snore. But it's not meant for you. It doesn't have to be for you. If you don't want to go up on Kagani Tower, you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. That's what I feel. This is why I'm so hyped for Dragonflight, because casual content is the easiest content to design. And the reason for it is you're not trying to design something that will appeal to everyone. You're just trying to design something fun. It will find its audience in time. And its audience doesn't have to be 100% of the player base. Its audience just needs to be enough people to actually enjoy it, you know? And there's so much that WoW could do that I hope that we get a sort of, here's 30 things to do whenever you're not raiding, you know? Let's see if we can find something else for you.
I'm super excited for Dragonflight too, because just thinking about the dragon riding system and just the kind of cool puzzles and challenges and courses and races and all kinds of stuff they could do with that sounds really fun. So I'd love to see.
Races have been confirmed, just FYI.
They have?
Yeah. There is dragon riding races that is happening. That's part of the team that's doing the open world stuff. That's part of the stuff that they're designing, is dragon riding races.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was very excited when Ian said it. It was in one of the interviews. I can't remember if it was the interview with Asmongold or if it was an interview with one of the one of the legacy media people. But it was in one of the interviews where Ian said that the open world people are working on dragon riding, jumping puzzles, and all the rest of it. So yeah, that is coming.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, you and me both, bro. You and me fucking both. Jamili, is that everything?
Yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you for the chat.
Thank you very much for the question, dude. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, brother.
Yep, you too. Have a good one.
Peace.